Good morning, you're watching Ireland AM. It's the 17th of November. Yes, we're nearly there.
Don't even go there.
Okay, I know people putting up Christmas trees
Stop
today.
it. Stop it now.
Anyway, yes, it is Friday, so yes, we're settling it in and we're going to make it a good one.
Now, coming up this morning, we'll talk through the big stories making this morning's papers, including Ryan Tubridy's big move to UK radio.
In sport, Ireland's last faint hope of qualifying for the Euros disappeared last night, while Limerick swept up at the hurling All-Stars. We'll have this morning's big story.
It's just 2 paychecks that day that we don't want to talk about. We'll have advice on how, even at this stage, you can keep your festive budget under control.
You said festive. You said it's nearly
festive
there.
Can mean many things, Martin. Many things.
But this time of year it can only mean one thing.
No.
All right, the Irish King of Swing, Luke Thomas, will be stopping by to give us a look at his Eurovision team with TikTok stars, the Gardner brothers.
And with more than 25 million sales under his belt, we'll be chatting to the author behind what many have called the Irish Harry Potter. Artemis Fowl author Eoin Colfer is joining us.
Derek is out braving the elements again, as usual. Where in the world are you?
Yes, good morning, Martin. Good morning, Elaine. We're live here in Dublin 7 this morning. Now, it is a bit of a chilly start, as you mentioned there, Martin. Touch of frost and mist out there this morning. Holding mainly dry and bright for the first half of the day, then rain building from the southwest later on. So a lot of us really getting a taste of the wet stuff if you're heading out Dowsa this Friday evening. Now, Fisra in Dublin 7 is where we're at this morning. You may notice a lot of men around the country supporting moustaches at the moment, all in aid of a great cause for Movember. So coming up later on, we're paying a visit to Fisborough Fire Station. We're going to be hanging out with the firemen, also members of the Gardaí, the Army, our first line responders, including the Civil Defence. So that's all to come live here from Fisborough right across the morning. Martin, have you grown a tash?
Me? No, I haven't had a tash since 1985.
I've tried my best, to be honest, but you know.
When I came in, she was shaving this morning when I came in.
I'm not joking, I do on occasion get a Ronnie, I won't lie to you. Now let's check on your morning paper, starting with the Irish Times, which leads with the headline, Israel discusses short ceasefire for 50 hostages held by Hamas. It reports that Israel's war cabinet convened last night to discuss the framework for an emerging deal to release some 50 hostages, mainly children and women civilians, in return for a ceasefire of a few days and Israel releasing Palestinian security prisoners.
Well, let's take a look at the front page of the Irish Independent. The headline reads, tension boils over as Taoiseach confronted by Israeli mayor. The story tells of Taoiseach Micheál Martin being confronted by an Israeli mayor over Ireland's stance on the war in a meeting during a visit to Israel.
The Examiner leads with war will radicalise more people, the paper reports. Taoiseach Micheál Martin has warned the Israeli foreign minister that the bombardment of Gaza will radicalise a new generation.
On to the tabloids, and the front of the Star front page, it reads, prisoner attacked by jail officer. They report that a prisoner is in a coma after allegedly being seriously assaulted by a prison officer as he was transported. The
Herald leads with hunt for raiders after €500,000 and guns stolen. It writes Gardaí are hunting brazen burglars after more than €500,000 in cash and a handgun were stolen during 2 separate raids in North Dublin in the space of just 6 days.
The front of the Irish Daily Mail reads, Tubridy's new gig in the UK sparks fears for Irish jobs. The paper writes the media regulator has been called on to ensure that Ryan Tubridy's new radio gig in London does not lead to job losses at home, as the show will be syndicated to regional Irish stations.
The Mirror leads with Ryan's Virgin Rebirth. The story continues. Comeback king Ryan Tubridy is set for a massive pay cut despite landing a top job with a leading British radio station.
And finally, The Sun also leads with this story. Their headline reads, I'm moving to London, RTE is behind me now. They add saying RTE is firmly in his rear-view mirror. The Dubliner also confessed he hasn't watched Patrick Kilty host his old show yet because he's always out on Friday nights.
Now we'll have the latest on this morning's big stories. After this short break, do stay with us. Very welcome back to Ireland AM. The Taoiseach Micheál Martin visited Israel and the West Bank yesterday amid the ongoing bombardment of Gaza, while Ryan Tubridy announced his new radio job in the UK. Joining us with this morning's top stories, our assistant editor with the Irish Daily Mail, Linda Mara, and chief reporter with Barrett Media, it is Barry White. Thank you both so much for joining us this morning. And Micheál Martin hasn't had an easy time of it over in the Middle East, of course, confronted by an Israeli mayor, but of course, first of all, the comments that he made to the foreign minister saying, this is going to radicalise an entire new generation. What's happening in Gaza? And he's kind of right.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a very brave move of him. I'm not sure if it was a smart move, but I think it was a very brave move to sit in front of people who you have been out, disagreeing with quite heavily for, what are we on now, 5 weeks almost now. The Israelis have to listen to somebody who has been part of an establishment who's gone through this. And Micheál Martin's not coming from a place of ignorance. He's been a part of a peace process in this country that's still ongoing now. And, that may be the reason they brought him in. I don't know if everybody would agree with that. That was sitting around the table yesterday. But they were caught up there was an air raid siren. They had to kind of be moved away from a certain area and that yesterday. So, it's for him to see what's going on the ground. But I think there's definitely a sense of other countries now moving to where Ireland are coming from in terms of this has to stop being about two sides. This has to start being about the people in the middle of it all. And the Israelis probably aren't at that point yet, but I think it's really good for him to be there and to be putting that point across to them.
Yeah, and diplomacy, of course, as well. It's a contact sport, as has been said, and he needs to be there as well to talk to people about getting our Irish citizens out.
Yeah, he needs to be able to talk to people, but were they listening? He was told yesterday there's definitely not going to be a ceasefire, which is worrying, and I think most people would be disappointed with, because I think everybody's seen the death and destruction in Gaza over the last number of weeks now, and there's too many people getting killed there, and I think most right-thinking people want a ceasefire there now, and Micheál Martin was there to relay that to the Israeli politicians, but I think the thing is they weren't listening to him yesterday, and I'm not sure how well his visit's going to go down with the public either, because I've seen loads of people sharing pictures of him, pointing to a hole in the roof yesterday, and a lot of people are just going to see that picture and see pictures of him with the Israeli ambassador, and they're going to be critical of him because people just read headlines now. A lot of people don't read the articles, and they won't see that he's there and he's calling for a ceasefire and he's there being a diplomat. And that's the thing, he's probably one of the first politicians to meet Israeli politicians and tell them that, a lot of the people in the world now want a ceasefire, and a lot of people don't want to see the killing to continue. But as Israel told him, they don't see a ceasefire happening soon, and they keep giving the line that they want to wipe out Hamas.
There are reports in the paper this morning that in exchange for hostages there will be a humanitarian pause. I love the way they say that for a few days. But of course, he also met the Palestinian Authority Prime Minister as well, so it wasn't just the Israeli side he was meeting. I suppose there's an element of perhaps some hope of some sort of mediation or something, because, as you said, he has been involved in a very an ongoing and serious peace process here. There was a very tense exchange with a particular Israeli citizen of Mayor, and saying, "Are you with us? Are you not with us?" And that was quite sharp.
It was, and I thought it was interesting as well, because that Mayor, said that his own children, have post-trauma from being constantly bombarded by bombs, and he said, do your children understand what that is? We have to presume, not knowing that two of Micheál Martin's children have died. And he didn't react to that, and he didn't get involved in anything with that with him. But, I don't think anybody goes in there not understanding that there is two sides to this, and that's why I think we are in a very good position to perhaps make inroads in this and get people talking to each other over there, because we do come at it from a different perspective than a lot of people.
Yeah, moving on to another story which is dominating a lot of the tabloids this morning. Brian Tubridy's moving to London, got a new gig in Virgin Radio. Happy as Larry, the man is. Happy as Larry, an exclusive interview, of course, with The Sun this morning. UK stage in Virgin Radio. But over with them, he's buddy Chris Evans. Seems to be delighted with life, Barry.
Yeah, it seems like a good gig. The land, I was quite surprised when I heard this yesterday, because there was reports of this about a month ago. Then it all kind of went quiet, and I think a lot of people were thinking, did this fall through? But yeah, he was there yesterday. He was on his Instagram yesterday morning saying he was making a big announcement. So Virgin Radio in the UK, but it's also going to be simultaneously broadcast on Dublin's Q102 station. I'm not sure how that's going to work, because obviously it's going to be for a British audience. Is that going to work the same here in Ireland? I'm not sure, unless maybe it'll be kind of similar to the Graham Norton show, where it's kind of celebrity and everybody kind of knows what he's talking about in the show. But then worrying for local radio as well, because the show he's going to be doing at the weekends is going to be across 4 Irish radio stations. So Q102, Limerick's Live 95, LMFM and Cork's 96 FM. You know, doing a broadcast against 4 stations. So there would have been 4 people doing, presenting different shows there. You would have had different people working in those shows. So I suppose there's pressure on him as well, because he has to deliver, considering that it's going to be across so many different stations. But
yeah, but then again, I suppose, who's going to move the dial, as it were, to tune in to, if they have the stations and their listeners that they love. Irish love their local radio stations, and we're very loyal to the station, no matter who's on it. So, in the greater scheme of things, might it make that much of a difference to Jane and Laura's and the
Yeah, I think as well, you know, you only have to like, if you know Chris Evans, then you know the tone of Virgin Radio. I'm not sure that's the tone of radio Irish people are particularly interested in.
Yeah.
It's a bit more in your face. It's a bit more, you know, kind of not risque, but edgy. And I'm not sure that's in the morning. Is that what people want to be listening to? Maybe it is, and we'll find everybody turning the dial. But it's a huge move for him, and it's a lot more work. Like, it's a 3-hour show every morning. Going from a 1-hour to a 3-hour would be a big leap for him. It would be interesting to see how he copes with that, and then another 2-hour show for the weekend as well. But it has been described as a road to hell by one Irish radio personality already, and there is definitely a worry about jobs in radio here, because if this works, then a lot of other stations are going to do the same thing and take, you know, shows from the UK as well.
Well, but I suppose the regulator comes in then and steps in if that becomes a big issue. But we show a lot of shows, particularly on television, that are like simulcast, if not very closely simulcast to the UK anyway. So, there is that precedent in television, never mind about radio. But interestingly enough, he is singing the praises of Noel Kelly, his agent, who was controversially at the centre of the row with RTE and the Oireachtas and everything else.
praised him for doing the deal. So.
Yeah.
But I was reading that he's taken a significant pay cut as well, but I suppose he's probably just glad to get back to presenting. He was also asked about how Paddy Keelty's doing. He says he hasn't watched it yet because he's out on Friday nights.
Lucky him out on Friday nights.
Which I found funny. And he's relocating as well to London. But it'll be interesting to see because, you know, how will a British audience take to him as well?
Sure, they love the Irish over there. I mean, Graham North and Terry Wogan.
But he's not a household name as such in the UK, so he's kind of gone over there.
A clean slate.
Yeah, clean slate.
So it could be good time.
Chris Evans certainly seems to like him anyway.
Yeah, sure, listen, I wish him all the best. Wish him all the best over there. Hope he has a ball over in London, because you know what? Whatever about anything else, you don't like to see anyone suffering and anyone getting through to an element. A lot of people say he was thrown under the bus by a lot of people in RT, and there is an element of that there, I think, anyway. So wish him the best. Now, finally, today we are looking at, we're going to skip the crackdown on uninsured drivers because we're running out of time, and I love this particular one because a new study from Pure Telecom shows Ireland's biggest social media faux pas. And number one is scrolling through a person's feed and liking a post from a long time ago. Are any of the two of you guilty of that?
Oh, the fear. You just know.
Fear.
Even just reading that, like, your stomach just sinks when you just know that absolute, oh, God. And Instagram, I think when Instagram kind of first came out, or for people who are not familiar with it, the double tap.
What does that mean?
So when you're on Facebook or Twitter, if you want to zoom in on a picture, you double tap on it and it zooms in on it. On Instagram, it likes it. So if you were going back and you were back to an old post and you wanted to like see something closer on Instagram, you would automatically your brain would double tap on it, and then you just see that heart coming up and your own heart absolutely sings.
Or sending a message to the wrong person. Come on, Barry. Surely you've done this. Everybody has.
I actually haven't done it. One of them is accidentally posting something publicly that you're meant to post private. And actually earlier this week I got a message from one of my friends saying, did you mean to post this on TikTok? It was a receipt for car parking that I was meant to upload as expenses, had gone up on my TikTok with a music background, and I was like, how did this happen?
How did you do that?
I had no idea. It was Tuesday when I was sitting outside RTE doing reports, and then someone messaged me and I was like, how did that happen? Did I sit on my phone or something? I don't know.
Oh,
But I'm lucky it was just a receipt, because what if you had posted something?
Something, yeah.
I don't want to know what else you screenshot in your phone, Barry. You can keep it PG. It's early in the morning. And accidentally liking an ex-partner's post or following them. Oh, no good comes of that. That's why you block them all once you break up. Block.
And the ex's new partner, that's, that you always have a little kind of scroll of them as well, and a little, suss them. But God, if you...
What I found really surprising there too was 44% of men and 28% of women have admitted that they have fake profiles on social media.
I'm going to say I wasn't surprised.
So high. I was surprised. That's really high.
Sneaky noodles having fake profiles. I don't like that. A lot of people have fake profiles to like spy on people. I don't like that one little bit. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning. Stay with us and we'll be looking ahead of the weekend sport after this short break.
Yes, the Republic of Ireland face a daunting trip to Amsterdam this weekend, while there was a fairy tale ending to the Luis Diaz kidnapping story in Colombia overnight. Editor of the 42.e, Niall Kelly, joins us with the latest sports stories. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning, Martin. How are you?
Let's start with Ireland's game against the Netherlands. Any slight, slim, minuscule chance of making Euro 24 was kind of wiped out last night.
It was, unfortunately.
While we were all tucked up in our beds, we got the news that, well, for those who were up at this hour of the morning, we got the news that it's really over for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think the circumstances, I think there were 6 different levels of permutation that needed to come through last night. Or this weekend, and unfortunately,
wiped out at the first
it was
fence.
wiped out of the first fence. Yeah, so that we kind of knew that it was a long shot at this stage. There had been a little bit of talk a few weeks ago that Ireland going to Amsterdam tomorrow night and losing could actually be beneficial for their chances of sneaking in the back door of a playoff. But that's out of the question now. The campaign is, as it has been for a long, long time, it's dead, it's over.
Yeah, we needed Iceland to beat Slovakia and then for a few other results to go our way.
Yeah.
Slovakia beat Iceland.
Yeah, Slovakia beat Iceland 4-2 last night, and the celebrations, the scenes there were great last night. That was enough to secure their place, and they're obviously over the moon. But for Ireland, I mean, as I said, this campaign, unfortunately, it feels like it's been nearly dead in the water back as far as June, and the defeat to Greece and Athens, which really was a killer blow. And it's hard to really remember a competitive international match that is really going so under the radar as tomorrow night's is. Like, it's hard really to muster much enthusiasm, much excitement for it. It's just it's a really flat ending to the campaign, unfortunately.
And some of the players that we will be pinning our hopes on, the likes of Evan Ferguson, is an injury doubt for tomorrow night.
Yeah, now Stephen Kenny spoke very, very highly of Evan Ferguson earlier this week about his determination to be fit to lead the line tomorrow night. Yeah. And hopefully that is the case, because I think if Ireland are to have any chance of putting in a strong showing in Amsterdam tomorrow night, they need Evan Ferguson there to kind of lead from the front, which I suppose is remarkable, given that we are talking about a 19-year-old who's only made a handful of senior international appearances. But disappointing news, obviously, yesterday on the injury front, with Will Smallbone ruled out. Fessie Ebasele as well, who kind of impressed any of the times he got a bit of a run over the last couple of months. He's out as well, and he's gone back to Italy. So it's a few disappointing.
I'm not sure about Chidozie Ogbene, whether
he's still carrying a knock as well. So there are a couple of injury concerns there for Ireland. But
in fairness to Stephen Kenny, right, we know it's been a poor campaign. The only 2 wins we got were against Gibraltar. He has been dogged by injuries.
Yeah, he really has, and history in time may well reflect on, if this is to be the end of the Stephen Kenny era over the next few days, history may well reflect in time as being a man who, like, if he didn't have bad luck, would have had no luck at all. Honestly, when you look back to the start of his managerial tenure and the damage that was wreaked by COVID, and the disruption that was caused to him and his plans, and yes, look, there have been a lot of poor performances, and he'd be the first to hold his hand up and admit that. But he'd also be the first to say that, there have also been a lot of quite good performances where maybe the bounce of a ball gone the other way, the results could have been different and maybe would have put a very different complexion on the whole thing. I think, the mood music around the camp, talking to my colleagues who are there this week, like, the mood music around the camp is not good. It's very subdued. Stephen Kenny is really conducting himself with great dignity and professionalism. Like, he was asked earlier in the week if a result tomorrow night for Ireland, or win in Amsterdam tomorrow night, would be a good bargaining chip for him to go back to the table when Mark Canham and the FAI do their review post-campaign, decide whether or not to offer him another contract. And he said, I haven't made any pleas to the FAI. I'm not interested in bargaining with the FAI. All I'm interested in is the 2 games that we have ahead of us. The game tomorrow night and the game against New Zealand back here on Tuesday. So he's conducted himself with remarkable dignity. And look, it's in the lap of the FAI now at this stage. They'll conduct the review, and we'll find out soon enough what the future holds for this team.
OK. It's been quite a few weeks for Luis Diaz, the Liverpool forward.
For sure.
His dad was kidnapped and held for 12 days. Last night, it was like his father was released, thankfully. But last night, Colombia played Brazil. They were a goal down, and in the 75th minute, who pops up with the first of 2 goals to win the game for Colombia except Luis Diaz?
It's like, you genuinely, if somebody handed you a script, you could plausibly hand it back and say, too far-fetched, not having it, nobody's going to buy this. It is one of the most remarkable human stories as well as footballing stories that we've seen in a long, long time. I mean, it feels like it was destined. It feels like it was written. The scenes last night are incredible. Like, Colombia don't beat Brazil that often.
I think it's the first time in 15 meetings.
They really don't. And they were a goal down, as you said. There's 15 minutes left, and Luis Diaz gets 2 to get them a real remarkable win. The scenes, like his celebrations. The camera was obviously on his father in the crowd. His father was in tears, being supported by those around him. Like, there's a picture there. Like, I mean, I can't imagine what the Diaz family, what Luis Diaz Sr. has been through in the last couple of weeks. But to have that moment as a family together, also then, like Brazil, Alisson, the Liverpool goalkeeper, just been beaten and was nearly the first man up to congratulate his teammate, because he knows, like, he will have been around Luis Diaz the last couple of weeks, and just seeing the personal toll that this has taken on him, and 2 of them shared a lovely embrace at the end of the game. It's a fabulous story. It's a lovely end to what has been the most impossible period for that family.
Just very quickly, before we wrap up, the All-Stars are on tonight.
Yes.
We already know who's got the hurling All-Stars, and no surprise that it's the bulk of the nominations have gone to Limerick.
No, Limerick clean up, as you'd expect. It's 7 All-Stars for them and the team that was announced yesterday, and Kilkenny then taking 5, and a couple for Clare and 1 for Galway. So, like, I mean, when you are as dominant as Limerick have been, and when you are as impressive in practically every line of the pitch as Limerick have been, it's no surprise. Like, it's no surprise. It's 3 Limerick men up for Hurler of the Year tonight, you know. So it really, like, it's a testament to the quality that they have delivered again this season.
And they're just building on it year on year on year on year, and it doesn't look like ending either. But that's the challenge that's put down to everybody else for next year. Just a little mention for John Conlon, because he won as a full forward a couple of years back. He won as a centre back this year.
It's quite unusual. He's in an elite group there. Really is, like, great for him. Great for TJ Reid. Adds to his burgeoning collection again.
And his birthday as well.
So it's been like, hopefully we're looking forward to seeing the football team and the footballer in Hurler of the Year tonight now as well.
Okay, all right. Good to see you, Noel.
And
Thanks
you too, Martin. Cheers.
Coming up, it's on the way. We'll be learning about the best ways to budget for the upcoming festive season. Welcome back. Cover your ears. There are only 38 sleeps till Christmas. But from the presents to the food and even heating the house, it is also the most expensive time of the year.
Here to give us some tips on the upcoming festive season is Irish budgeting mammy Anne-Marie Gaynor. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now it's the time of year Martin loves to talk about incessantly.
Santa Claus arriving into shopping centres from this weekend.
But it is really expensive, and it is not only about the presents and everything else. Heating bills are going up, everything is going up. Normal food bills are going up. So how soon should you start to budget for the festive season?
And I won't be very popular, but January is when you need to start. You need to start preparing, because it's not a surprise. It's going to come around every year. I'm a mum of 4, and I have always found Christmas and back to school as the most stressful financial times, but especially before I start planning in January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the ball rolling.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. Obviously, with 5 weeks to go, it's a
Yes.
bit late.
No, it is very late.
So people can start for 2024
Yes.
in January. So what can people do now?
Write your list. I think we go shopping so blindly. We just go in and go, right, I need to get this, 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 and we keep going. I think that's a big mistake as well. We keep going into the shops and say, actually, they'd like that, they'd like this. Set your list, write your budget for every single person you have to buy for, and stick to it.
Yeah.
And kind of avoid the browsing until you've bought all the presents. And then what I always say is go with cash rather than your cards. So you don't see something and go, actually, oh, I think I'll get that. You'll have already...
That's very
Yes,
clever. So if you
yeah.
go with your list, you go with your
Yes.
cash, your budget for each person you
Yes.
need to pay for, then you can't really go over budget because you don't have it on you.
No, you don't. And
Yeah.
you're not going to go home and come back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? With the massive traffic and everything else that comes
Yeah.
with Christmas shopping, you're not going to go home and go back. So it's a really good way kind of to curb the spending.
Yeah, unless, of course, you're online shopping, in which case you do have to stick your credit card in the freezer.
Yeah, or stab it.
Yeah.
Yeah, get rid of, just break it and stab it. Gift culling is what I would call it. When you
Yes.
start contacting family and friends and saying, listen, I'll see you,
Yeah.
but I won't have anything in my hands.
And people love that. I love when people tell me we're not buying presents this year because things are very tight. Do you know what I mean? They are tight all across the board. And, you know, how many boxes of sweets and bottles of wine? Do you want to be passing? You're just passing back and forth. So definitely culling the gifts is one big thing.
But calling them without offending people, because it's always,
Yeah.
oh no, they give me something every year, and if I don't give them something back, and I better have it just in case, a few tins of sweets in the boot. But it does all add up, and there is
Yeah.
that whole fear that you get caught short.
So that's why you tell them. that's what you tell them. You said, this year we're not going to do presents. You know, this year we're going to maybe have drinks or come over to the house or different things like that, rather than, you know, just standing there going, oh God, I didn't buy you a present.
But some people always do it anyway, even with the best of intentions. They do.
Yeah.
But the shops and online, it can be a bit overwhelming. So how do you kind of curb your enthusiasm for spending when it comes to that?
I find online much better, actually, because you do have that little moment of clarity where you come to the checkout and you go, oh my God, what's in the basket? And you can go back over and start taking things out. But definitely the lists. I just can't stress the lists enough, and write down exactly what you're going to get for everybody. And I have teenagers, so I give them their budget. They go to me, Mammy, what's the budget this Christmas? And I literally tell them what they have to spend and sort out your presents amongst that.
Yeah.
And let us know then. Look, next weekend.
Yes.
Next Friday. The American phenomenon, Black Friday.
Yes, yeah.
It's filtered. It's become a thing for us as well. Is this the time? Do you kind of do your reconnaissance shopping and then
I
when
try
next
to
weekend
avoid
comes around?
it. Yeah,
Do you?
I try to avoid it now, unless there's something I really want to buy, which one is a dryer this year. So literally, I've been looking at the prices since September for it, because sometimes the prices can go up so that they can say, right, they're down 30%, whatever, for Black Friday, but they've started to creep up slowly. So it's really important to kind of be a really savvy consumer, basically, and just know what the prices are and start looking in September, August, kind of to know what the prices were pre-Black Friday, coming up to Christmas.
Because the prices have to be a certain amount before, is it
Yes.
like 28 days or something before
Yes.
the tag on it? So you can't say that, they can't put it up the day before and then
Yes,
reduce it.
yeah.
They have to do it, so you're saying they do it in increments a little bit
A
beforehand?
little bit, yeah. But it's also, I've noticed Black Friday has started about 2 weeks ago. You know, as soon as Halloween was over, it was Black Friday this, Black Friday that. And your promotional emails as well, kind of, I've actually started going through them and just unsubscribe them, because it's too much sometimes of a temptation.
Now, you talk about a sinking fund, and you want
Yes.
people to start at the start of the year for that. Tell me what a sinking fund is and how does one go about making one?
I know, it's a strange term, isn't it? Because everyone goes, oh my God, it sounds like I'm sinking. No, it's to prevent you sinking. So basically, at the beginning of the year, I'll set up my sinking fund. So one is a family holiday, one is Christmas, one is back to school, one is birthdays, and it's you saving throughout the year for that fund.
Yeah.
Some people pay a little bit into each fund every single time. I prefer to pay them off. So I say, right, okay, I've got my insurance ready to go for when my car needs to be insured. I've got Christmas ready, so the money's there and ready for me to go.
Yeah. I'm really bad at budgeting. I mean, I'm like, my sister's brilliant, and everything you do is what she does.
Yes,
she writes
yeah,
lists
yeah.
and she has budgets and she's very strict about them. And but that's the way to do it, really.
yeah.
Yes.
Whatever about gifts, there were people who were watching us this morning who were saying, listen, I can't heat my house.
Yeah.
Whatever about Santa Claus and getting gifts, I can't heat my house. Direct debits are the answer, really.
Knowing your direct debits are going out.
Yeah.
You'd be so surprised when people don't know that their direct debits are actually going out. Another thing is I kind of chip away with it. So I'll put €10 every single week into my electricity and €10 into my phone and different things like that. So the giant bill isn't such a bite. And they're going to come, and if you can't pay them, I always tell people go to MABS and go and get support. And another thing is also keep in contact with the providers.
Yeah, don't ignore them.
Just don't ignore it and put the letters underneath the couch. No, that doesn't work. You have to kind of keep in contact.
Try your best not to go into debt as well over Christmas because that just sows up pain for the rest of the year.
Just set your budget, set your limits. And remember, it's only a bargain if you need it.
It is, yes, yeah. And we all get kind of caught up in emotional spending at Christmas. You know, we're happy or we want to become happy and we start spending money that we don't have, and you don't want the January money hangover, as I call it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
joining
us.
Thank you for having me.
Lovely chatting to you.
Still to come, King of Swing, Luke Thomas will be here.
And Artemis Fowl creator Eoin Colfer tells us why he's gone all festive with his latest writing. Now let's check on your morning paper, starting with the Irish Times, which leads with the headline, Israel discusses short ceasefire for 50 hostages held by Hamas. They report that Israel's war cabinet convened last night to discuss the framework for an emerging deal to release some 50 hostages, mainly children and women civilians, in return for a ceasefire of a few days and Israel releasing Palestinian security prisoners.
The front page of the Irish Independent reads, tension boils over as Taoiseach are confronted by Israeli mayor. The story tells of Taoiseach Micheál Martin being confronted by an Israeli mayor over Ireland's stance on the war in a meeting during a visit to Israel.
The Examiner leads with war will radicalise more people, the paper reports. Taoiseach Micheál Martin has warned the Israeli foreign minister that the bombardment of Gaza will radicalise a new generation.
On to the tabloids, and the front page of the Star reads, prisoner attacked by jail officer. They report that a prisoner is in a coma after allegedly being seriously assaulted by a prison officer as he was transported.
The Herald leads with hunt for raiders after €500,000 and guns stolen at Routs Gardaí are hunting brazen burglars after more than €500,000 in cash and a handgun were stolen during two separate raids in North Dublin in the space of just 6 days.
The front of the Daily Mail reads, Tubridy's new gig in the UK sparks fears for Irish jobs. The paper writes, the media regulator has been called on to ensure that Ryan Tubridy's new radio gig in London does not lead to job losses at home, as the show will be syndicated to regional Irish stations.
The Mirror leads with Ryan's Virgin Rebirth. The story continues. Comeback king Ryan Tubridy is set for a massive pay cut despite landing a top job with a leading British radio station.
The Sun also leads with this story. Their headline reads, I'm moving to London. RTE is behind me now. They add that the Dubliner also confessed he hasn't watched Patrick Kilty host his old show yet because he's always out on Friday nights.
We're going to have a few texts in this morning, and of course earlier on in the newspaper review they were saying that the Virgin Radio in the UK is quite edgy, but Orla says, well, Ryan is hardly what you call edgy. In fact, he's the total opposite. But I suppose he gives his own je ne sais quoi to the slot.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed listening to him on radio.
Yeah, I miss him very much on the radio, so I look forward to hearing him once again. We're talking about budgeting for Christmas. And Nuala was in touch. She says, because we were saying, do a gift call where you just tell family, friends, look, I'm not buying you a gift, you don't buy me a gift. Everybody's cutting corners. Nuala says, I haven't done Christmas presents for years and years. And oh, the joy, the lack of stress, the saving in time and money. I can wander around town if I want on the weekends before Christmas. Smug that I am not like all the other people looking fed up and stressed, looking for stuff to buy other people. Most gifts aren't even wanted. Seriously, who wants hand cream and cheap fragrance in a not so fancy box? So many presents are given to charity right after Christmas or re-gifted later. Enjoy a stress-free 5 weeks of no perceived pressure to buy presents just for the sake of it.
I love giving presents to people when you know they love them. But my problem is when I get them, I can't get them too early because I'm terrible. I can't wait till Christmas. I just give them and I tell them about it and I ruin everything because I get ridiculously excited. But I'm in the lucky position that I can afford to buy presents. But a lot of people are really, really struggling. We've got messages in this morning. It's all very well to save money because one advice from our budgeting expert was to have a sinking fund at the start of the year to save up for things like Christmas and holidays, etc.
School.
if you have money spare to save, but I've had to get credit union loans just to back up my wages. It's so hard to survive. We've got the gas, electricity bills, heating bills going
crazy.
up.
Now, I know those prices are starting to come down, but it's taken a while for them to start to come down, even though the cost, we know, the wholesale cost has come down quite a while ago. It's been a while since it's been passed on. An idea for Christmas, says Michael, would be to give electric and gas vouchers to people.
That'd be handy in January, wouldn't it?
Not a bad idea.
Anyway, keep them coming. You know the number, which is?
0896 111 111.
Because I never remember.
She never does.
Okay. Now, after the break, we'll be joined by Ireland's King of Swing, Luke Thomas, dear, all about his Irish dancing, would you believe Eurovision dream?
All this week on Ireland AM, we've teamed up with Krispy Kreme to give away an amazing prize to one lucky viewer. To spread joy and kindness for World Kindness Day, Krispy Kreme are giving away free donuts across all their shops on the 13th of November. But to spread the kindness even further, or if you've missed out on the World Kindness Day, Krispy Kreme are giving away an amazing prize of €1,500 Blanchardstown Shopping Centre voucher as the home of Krispy Kreme's flagship shop. 2 dozen donuts every month for a year. One for the winner and one for them to share to continue spreading kindness and joy for the full year. For your chance to win, just answer this question. What is the typical shape of a donut? Is it A, circle, or B, triangle? To enter, call 1550 999 318 or text SHOP to 57199. Best of luck.
Yes, welcome back to Ireland AM. He has sung for the President, been awarded a medal by Gay Byrne, and is hoping to compete as Ireland's entry into next year's Eurovision Song Contest.
Here to tell us all about his exciting plans for the year ahead is singer Luke Thomas. And Luke Thomas, explain yourself. The Eurovision, what in the name of God is going on there?
Well, look at... it's something I've always wanted to do, I've mentioned this before for years, going back to when Jedward did it and everything else. I said to myself, I fancy a bit of that. Sure, why not? And last year, the song came to me. Darren from the High Kings, Darren Holden, the lead singer from the High Kings, gave me this kind of a diddly eye song. I says to myself, I listened to it enough, I said, this could work. Sure, why not? And I contacted the world-famous Gardner brothers, TikTok sensations, and they said they liked the song. And we said we'd just do something with it,
Yeah.
So we submitted it officially there last month, within the regulations and all that, and we just gave people a sneak peek.
Yeah.
And
So, I presume you're not dancing and the Gardner brothers aren't singing, so what way is it kind of working? Are they doing percussion with the feet? Or
yeah, they are. Well, I've to learn a few steps now for the big reveal.
So you've got your own bit of plyboard.
What?
You've got your own bit of plyboard that you're gonna dance on.
That's it. I will eventually. So we put up the video yesterday, and it's about 200, 300,000 views on it already.
Wow.
Which is it's crazy. They're huge stars on TikTok land and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, the big reveal will be me doing a bit of this and a bit of that.
Oh, my God, I would pay money to see that. I want to see that.
You can see.
You can see it there. Up with that,
Yeah. He has been doing a little bit of work on that.
Now, have you ever done a bit of dancing for Michael D. Higgins? Because I know you're he's a big fan.
Yes,
Tell
absolutely.
us about that relationship.
Yeah, that's something we've done for the last 7 or 8 years. In between COVID, obviously we didn't, but yeah, it's something that we've been invited to do. The garden party he has every summer in his back garden, and his wife Sabine as well is a big fan of the music we do, to be honest. And he's invited us back every year, 7 years. And it's great that he knows me by name, and I've been able to bring my mum, my dad, and it's just a great thing to do, know.
It's nice to be able to bring the family to meet the president, really, isn't it?
Well, I've been to one of those garden parties.
Yeah,
They're great.
there you go.
I haven't. I've never been invited. I feel very left out, actually.
Yeah. I actually said that the president had spent the whole morning making the sandwiches, but the corners were starting to curl up, so we needed to eat them as quick as
That's it.
possible.
Oh, did you? Yeah, the heat was turned on too much, was it? Yeah, that's
And the sandwiches were starting to turn. They were on
Playing croquet in the lawn of the Iris, for
I
God's
was
sake,
sitting
give
there.
the life.
That was it, yeah, myself. He allowed me to bring in Dylan with me, who's my videographer, and he came in and we're allowed to do a bit of this and a bit of that. It was great. I've watched the Ireland matches in Euro.
Tell the truth. Have you told people I shot a video around my house?
Yeah. This is the back garden.
This is the back garden.
Yeah. Anyone outside? This is my back garden. That's it. Yeah. Just me friend.
There's money to be made in this business.
That's it. Yeah.
Let me show you a video of my house.
It was my 30th birthday last year. The back garden.
The temptation would be great.
That's it. Yeah. So it's an amazing. No, it's an amazing feeling to, I suppose, be able to do that and take it for granted, really. But it is like
he's our first citizen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But like you've had more than that as a career highlight. You've done so many things over the years. Like, bring us what would your top moments be?
Let me see. The first gig I ever did, I mentioned to you before, Martin, supporting Coolio. I was in my school uniform at Sing Street.
Coolio.
Yeah. I was in Sing Street and I thought it was great. I got a call from the DJ that was supporting, and he didn't have enough material for a half an hour, so he said, "Do you want to come down?" And so up I got on stage in the Olympia, and 1990, and it was back then. Yeah. And straight from school up onto the stage. It was the first gig I ever did, so that was one of the highlights ever. Absolutely. Was.
We sadly lost him.
That's right. Yeah.
Lost him. He had a great love for Ireland.
He did. He was always
spent
over
so
here.
much time over here.
Yeah, the footage of him in some of the bars and everything else there recently.
Because on 6 o'clock show, he popped up as a guest and then came and saw what was going on. Came back a few weeks later to cook.
That's right, yeah, he did. Did he have a cookbook?
He came back to cook because he had a number of cookbooks and a YouTube channel where Coolio cooks.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And you can still see
that's
that
my
now.
next venture now, if this doesn't work out.
Nobody needs to see you cooking. Nobody needs that in their lives.
With the Gardner brothers on either side of you, dancing.
That's it, sure. What more do you want? Bit of music, bit of
I'd
crack.
watch it.
There you go. Absolutely.
Would you eat it, though?
I'd let you have the first one.
No, that ain't happening.
Well, that's it, So, and then I suppose that was a big highlight, the Coolio thing. And then right up to now, like doing some great gigs and stuff like that recently. And I've got one coming up with Una Healy in the Sugar Club.
That's right.
It's a Christmas kind of gig, and it's all festive, and it's all that kind of traditional, old school kind of Christmas music and all that stuff. It'll be nice and fuzzy, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Give it a nice big Christmas
Michael
hug.
Bublé kind of thing going on.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So if you're into that, there's only a few tickets left, but that'll be a good one as well.
You've also got a little thing going on with John Nolan from Dancing with the Stars.
See. I'm like a used car salesman, Just wheel me out. What am I selling? I was going to write on my hand what I'm up to. You have to, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm doing a bit with John Nolan, and obviously he recently said he was leaving Dancing with the Stars, and that's to spend more time with me. And do the tour. No, it's not really. No,
that's lovely.
But no, we're doing a couple of shows next year, and it's just the Fred Astaire kind of Frank Sinatra stuff, where it's a bit of both.
John's one of our finest dancers.
Oh, he is. There's no doubt about it.
Really brilliant dancer.
Yeah. I'm following in his footsteps now with the Irish dancing, and we will get there. I'll be back waiting. You see, you're laughing a couple of months now.
We'll be laughing at the other side of our mouths now.
That's it.
When you're on the hundreds of millions of people watching you in the Eurovision.
You never know.
Okay. You also have you're having a stint abroad in the coming months.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about that.
That's written on his other hand.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Where are we? I'm doing my first overseas trip. So it's myself, Lisa McHugh, the Runaways, Jake Carter, Tom Cole Jr., Dave Young, Enya Martin, the comedian. There's loads of people doing it. So this is something that people like Nathan Carter and Derek Ryan and all the country stars do. But I suppose you wanted to do one that was more geared towards the Dublin crowd.
So what does it involve?
It involves going away for 6 days to the lovely resort in Torremolinos, and it's entertainment during the day and in the evening with all the different acts. So it's all-inclusive kind of stuff like that. So
we're talking about an all-day pool party, are we?
Well, not an all-day pool party. I was going to call it Swingers in the Sun. It wouldn't have worked out.
I don't know. You might get a different crowd altogether.
That would have sold out quicker.
And I've got mental images there I really didn't need. Thank you so much.
So it's just called In the Sun, right?
Yeah. Nobody's getting into that pool.
No.
Moving swiftly onwards, tell us about Gay Byrne.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I don't want to talk about Swingers in the Sun anymore.
Okay, yeah. Gay Byrne, obviously a very, very famous past pupil of Sing Street, probably the most famous past pupil. So yeah, back in fourth year, that very same year, it was all going on when I supported Coolio. I also won Pupil of the Year. And Gay Byrne came back to give me the gold medal. Hello, and he gave me the medal. And it was it was a bigger highlight for my mum and dad, because my dad be a huge Gay Byrne fan. So I met him years later in the corridors of RTE, and I told him, he didn't remember, obviously, but he took the album and he played it anyway. But that was a big thing for me. I still have the medal at home, just along the few kind of bits and pieces I've won over the years.
He said something really nice to you when he gave you the medal. He said that he knew from the cut of you.
No, well, he did. Yeah, he did say that. In fairness, he did. And
Said what?
That you were going to make it.
yeah, no, he
that's
did.
lovely.
Yeah, no, he did.
Such a nice man.
Yes, absolutely. Probably, one of the best.
One of the best, and much missed.
Absolutely.
So Eurovision Glory, we hope next May.
That's it. Yeah.
I just want to see
Luke.
I just want to see the Irish dancing, to be quite honest. And I'm not helping out in the cooking later on, but Luke, I believe you're going to stick around and take my place.
It's the next segment for me, isn't it?
Yeah. You're cooking.
Coolio cooks.
So if Coolio can do it, so can you.
do it.
All right. For more information on Luke's tour, you can see www.theswingcats.ie.
Perfect coffee every time. Tassimo sponsors cookery on Ireland AM.
Yes, welcome back. We're halfway through the show now and we're all starving. My stomach thinks my throat's being cut. Yes. That's why we called in the big guns. Lily Ramirez Foreign from Picado, Mexican, she's come in to keep us fed, and it smells really good. That even so good that Luke Thomas has decided to stick around.
You said big guns, so that's plural, you know. So
yeah, the guns are out.
Oh, we're ready for action here.
And he's ready for action. Just for those who weren't
on a suit. He's going to cook on a suit.
Okay.
Right.
Good luck with that. Yeah. All right. So, for those who weren't with us at 8 o'clock, what are you making?
We're going to make something called white mole. Mole is Mexico's answer to a curry.
Okay.
It's usually a chili chocolate sauce, but there are parts of the country where we don't use dark chilies. So what I'm doing is I'm getting a couple of chicken thighs, because there's so much flavour in chicken thighs, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm adding salt and pepper. And I have a really hot pan. Thank you.
Step it away.
And I am
using me as his apron. I know Luke's apron.
Oh my God! Stop. So I'm putting them down on a very hot pan, and I want to brown them and seal them. And while this is happening, look, I like to make the sauce.
Oh,
you know?
Thank you very much.
It's going to be very simple. You just have to put some almonds, which I have there measured.
How many almonds would you like?
All of them.
All of them.
Live TV requires everything to be foolproof, so everything is
What
pre-done.
spices are you putting on it? Is it just salt and pepper?
Salt and pepper. That's all it goes.
Lily,
and we're going to put about 60 mils of water. So if you pour it, I'll tell you where to stop.
You might as well say a pint to him. He hasn't got a clue.
Yeah, well, I measure everything in a pint.
That's brilliant.
Okay.
Thank you. So tight lid, and we're going to make loads of noise.
We're going to make loads of noise, right? This is going to be
okay.
So that just basically, Perfect.
Oh, we're okay. Shall I stop, Lily, or keep going?
Keep going, higher speed. Turn it all the way down. There you go. And that's perfect. So basically, we're kind of making a sauce here that's going to...
Oh, okay, watch the soup.
That's all right.
Excellent.
That's okay. I can live with that much. I can live with that much. All right. It could have
been worse.
Could have been worse.
Okay.
So this is a really nice and simple sauce. I'm flipping the chicken. You're not cooking the chicken. We're just searing the salt and the pepper.
Smells lovely.
And I have a lovely little pot here with some just plain water that I brought to the boil. And I love this because I'm not using a lot of pans and pots. So I'm taking my chicken, and again, it's not cooked, so don't be texting
So you're searing and sealing, and then you're going to boil it.
That chicken is cooked.
Wow.
It's not cooked. It's going to finish off in the sauce, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to keep my pan here, and who doesn't like fried onions? We're going to
My daughter, actually. She doesn't like fried onions. She doesn't like onions full stop.
I must say hello to Heidi.
What's wrong with her?
Where before she goes to school. Hi, Heidi, if you're still before you go to school. It's only 4 now. She's going to big school.
So she's in junior.
Oh, yeah.
But that's big girl school.
Oh, it is. Oh, sorry, big girl school. Heidi, you go to big girl school. There we go.
Yeah. So there you
Fried onions, lovely.
So
have a good
fried
day.
onions.
And it's Friday, so there's no homework.
No homework. It's brilliant.
Better
Is
again.
there no homework Friday?
Yeah,
Well,
my
we've
God.
decided, Martin's
That's
decided
very
anyway.
nice.
so-
Well, yeah.
You're in trouble now.
For the
I was
entire
like, what's
country,
good?
no homework
Save
Friday.
him.
I'll have Norma Foley on the phone with me now before 9 o'clock.
So what we want is like the flavors of the chicken and the black pepper are going to soften the onions.
Yeah.
And when they start getting translucent,
Yeah.
into the pot, right?
okay.
If you can actually
Already?
fish
Okay.
them out.
Well,
I'm going to do these. So we keep all those flavors, the oily, the bit of oil that was on the pan, was about a tablespoon and a half of oil, stays in the pan
Right.
while the chicken cooks. And then we're going to do the sauce, a quick fry on the sauce.
oh yeah.
Um,
It's a bit lumpy, is it? Are we...
it's a little bit lumpy, but it's fine. It's fine.
You see, this is what happens when you get a first year into this.
Look,
I know. I'm
It's-
sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I told you to stop. So
Yeah. Needs to go back in again.
what happens is you always follow your instincts when you're cooking. You
Yeah,
thought it was
me
lumpy.
too.
You should have told me.
Okay.
Go
Here
again.
we go again.
You show that blender who's the boss.
Who's the boss? There we go. You know by sight, don't you?
I think that should be okay.
Okay. Okay.
Also, I have one that I made earlier, so,
So
if we
Okay.
So
we
it was.
mess this one up,
Okay.
it's fine.
Oh, that looks
So,
a lot better.
I'll get you to pour that in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
chef.
is the kitchen an area you're familiar with in your house?
The microwave is.
Oh, the microwave is right.
The microwave is.
Not
Well, you
necessarily
fooled
the
us
hob.
here.
Yep. Not necessarily the hob. So we're going nice and easy here.
Yeah, excellent. So
Like a
did you-
pancake.
Did you grow up?
That's exactly what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Did you grow up cooking with your mum?
My mother would do a lot of cooking, yes, and I'd do a lot of eating.
That's excellent. Match made in heaven.
It's perfect, you know.
That was the deal.
That was the deal. The West Indian cuisine,
Thank you.
roti and the like of that kind of stuff. Anything spicy. Anything
Yes.
spicy.
Well, I'm
yes.
so
Oh.
delighted because
Is this spicy?
what
Holy
makes
moly.
this sauce very delicious. We're going to fry the sauce a little bit, and we have here some pickled jalapenos, which I adore because they're like a nice level of heat, very
Right.
tangy, very
What do you
delicious.
think, Mark?
I think I should be calling home and telling them to
Yeah.
put the toilet paper in the freezer.
Oh my God!
Do you know-
Are you a wimp when it comes
Spice
to
bag
heat?
is your level of
Yeah. I don't mind some spice.
Okay.
But how much? Like,
Well, in
come on,
fairness,
Lily,
I
you're
have to
Mexican.
say I made this yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's been sitting on the heat a little
Okay.
bit, so it's developed heat. Put as much or as little as you want.
Okay.
We're going to
okay. We got
pour
about a
here
minute
in.
left.
Okay.
And that goes into the water
That goes
as well.
into there. You chop some of as much or as little of those chilies as you want. And you're going to let it cook there for about 15, 20 minutes until your chicken is cooked. And you're going to get something delicious like this. And here's
Now,
one that we made earlier.
You see, I'm thinking it's Friday.
Yeah.
How many of us reward ourselves with a takeaway on a Friday night? This could be a
do that,
perfect
absolutely.
takeaway.
It's
Absolutely.
very, very tasty. I got nothing special, really. It's just
Great.
a little bit of rice,
Okay.
white rice. And we're going to serve that
Lily,
on a
that
bed
was
of
in
rice.
the oven.
That was in the oven, just because it was...
Asbestos fingers over there, look.
Oh, no, like I had a bit of help. So I'm giving you quickly a little bit of
yeah.
chicken and rice.
Sorry, Lily, what's the actual dish called again?
This is pollo almendrado or white mole.
White, okay.
White mole.
White
White
You're getting
mole.
some as well,
White
Luke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Holy moly.
So, sorry, Martin, because it is a little bit
No, I'm
spicy.
looking forward to this.
So, there you
Thank
go.
you very much.
You're
okay,
welcome.
just what hospital is on call?
Cheers, Mark.
All right. Oh, wow. It's delicious.
Spicy,
really delicious.
but very nice.
I
I'd
can
have
feel
a full
the kick
bowl of that
already.
now.
There you go. I'm
Yeah.
delighted. Well, you know, thank you.
All right.
That's going to be my dinner tonight.
Okay.
is it? Yeah.
Her dinner sorted. Our late breakfast is
Yeah.
sorted. Yeah. Full recipe details are available on our website, or you can find out more about from Lily on our website, picadomexican.com.
You can see you started to joke.
We've called the ambulance.
Okay, the ambulance is on its way. Luke, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having
and good
me.
luck. I really,
Thank you very much.
You could be representing us at Eurovision next year. Irish dancing as well.
How about that?
All right, up next, our hero Derek is hanging out at a fire station looking ahead to a very special event. We'll see you in a second.
Perfect coffee every time. Tassimo sponsors cookery on Ireland AM.
Yes, welcome back. Movember has become a firm fixture in Ireland's annual calendar, raising awareness in mental health and suicide prevention, as well as throwing a focus on prostate and testicular cancer.
Derek joins us now from Phibsborough Fire Station, where they're gearing up for a special event this Sunday to raise awareness for Movember. How's it going there, Derek?
Yes, good morning, Martin and Elaine, and welcome down here to Phibsborough Fire Station. We're down here in Dublin, the 7th this morning, talking all things Movember. Of course, it is, the charity changing the face of men's health, not only here in Ireland, but right around the world. We're joined now by Barbara Sam Donnelly, also with all our frontline Mobros. And Sam, we'll kick off with you because you're one of the founding members, I believe.
Yes, we're here now with the frontline Mobros for 12 years now. Myself and Keith Wilson, firefighter Johnny Forbes, Detective Superintendent Shay, and Dara. We all kicked off the frontline Mobros, and we're going strong now. We've hit nearly €350,000 in the last 12 years.
It's an incredible achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, the money is one thing, but the awareness that we brought about Movember, because statistically, we're dying 4.5 years younger than women, and it's very important for the message to get out there to people to know that you can do something about that. Testicular cancer, prostate cancer, it's all early detection is key. And then as regards to mental health, you got to know to check yourself and be all right mentally as well as physically.
Absolutely. 1 in 8 men diagnosed with prostate cancer during the course of their lifetime. The stats are quite high.
They are quite high, but people don't realise that the stats are quite high in the sense of beating this thing. And it's all about early detection and knowledge. And as much as the money that we've raised in the frontline Mobros, it's more to us about getting the message out there to know that get yourself checked early and you'll be okay.
Now, Keith, you are with Dublin Fire Brigade. How many years are you doing this?
I'm doing the Mobros 13 years this year.
Okay, and how many members of the Fire Brigade are taking part in it?
Well, between the Fire Brigade and the frontline Mobros, we've almost 80 so far, and more joining. To date, I've raised over 8,200 quid.
Brilliant. And in total then, for the guys here at the station?
As I said, the frontline Mobros have over 350,000, and we're aiming for 30,000 this year. We're halfway there, but we've an open day coming up this Sunday, and we're hoping to big chunk of that raise as much funds as possible this weekend.
Now, what does your good lady wife think of this?
You get
this kind of tash you've got going on here. You've got the handlebars as well.
She loves the beard, but unfortunately we can't have a beard. We can only go as far as our chin because we have to wear BA masks. We need to get a seal.
Okay, so November and Movember is your time to kind of let your hair down, let the hair grow out.
Let the hair grow out. Try and keep it neat and tidy for the month.
All right, we're going to pop over to Detective Superintendent Shay McCormick. And Shay, there's many members of An Garda Síochána taking part in this as well.
Well, I don't have the exact figures, but I do know we have representatives in the 4 regions across the country who are taking part and supporting Movember.
And we also have members of the Defence Forces at home and abroad.
We have. I know some of the lads who are serving abroad in the Irish Defence Forces, and also the lads who are out at sea and up in the air are joining us and supporting us.
And not only here, but also in Lebanon and Syria as well. We have members of the Defence Forces taking part.
Yeah, it's always a big thing when you're abroad to get involved. I did it when I served in the United Nations in Cyprus, and it's a link back to home as well, and it's camaraderie.
How many years are you doing this?
I'm doing this 13 years
13
as well.
years. And tell us about what you've going on. Are you cheating a little bit?
Possibly just started a little bit earlier and just running a little bit wide.
But it's looking good.
Thanks very much,
Yeah,
Eric.
now we're going to finish up with Dara Lettice. Is that right, Dara?
Good morning.
All the way from the National Ambulance Service. Dara, how many years are you doing this?
Near on 10 years now with the Frontline Mobros. We started ourselves a couple of years ago with the National Ambulance Service and joined forces with the combined effort of all the frontline staff.
And the lads were slagging you earlier on, saying you started growing this back in April.
Started this a couple of years ago now, but yeah, now on the force like everybody else.
Okay, and obviously a lot of the National Ambulance Service taking part in this as well.
Yeah, we've good cohorts, like you said there, with the Frontline Mobros. We've near on 80 members from all different agencies taking part, so it's a great number. Again, just raising awareness.
Keith, you were saying that there is an open day kicking off this Sunday. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we have a full emergency services open day happening here on Sunday. So we have ourselves, the guards, the Army, river rescue groups, mountain rescue. We've vintage fire trucks here from America. This one's coming all the way in from New York State. We've a small truck coming from Japan. We've displays on the day, so we've Highline rescue teams doing display, we've fire displays, and also it's a big coffee morning with tea, coffee, cakes. There's loads of stuff for the kids. The kids can get into the trucks, come and meet us. I know the guards have the mounted unit, the dog unit, and other units coming down. So it'll be a great day for the whole family. Come in, meet the crews, get on their trucks, see what we have. And
from 11 till 3.
It's on from 11 o'clock till 3 o'clock on Sunday here in Fitzroy Fire Station.
And you get to groom his moustache as well.
There'll be plenty of moustaches to be groomed on the day, that's for sure.
Before we let you go, you're one of the official barbers, Sam's Barbers as well.
That's right, yeah, I'm a Movember rated barber, so I look after everything hairy for the month of November, for Movember, and all year round as well. It's not just a month's charity, we're here working around the clock all year round.
All right, thank you very much to all our frontline members here down at Fitzroy Fire Station. Don't they look fantastic, guys? All their mows growing. Another week or so to go. But for now, back to you in the studio.
Okay. And then you kind of miss it from under your nose when it's gone.
Do you?
Yeah, well, I had a moustache on for you. We grew moustaches just so we could look older and get into nightclubs.
I tried it as well, didn't work.
She shaves in the morning before she goes on air. Anyway, still to come. Artemis Fowl creator Eoin Colfer joins us.
Plus, we'll be warming up with some winter coats on the catwalk. We're back in just a few minutes. Now let's have a final check on your morning paper, starting with the Irish Times, which leads with the headline, Israel discusses short ceasefire for 50 hostages held by Hamas. It reports that Israel's war cabinet convened last night to discuss the framework for an emerging deal to release some 50 hostages, mainly children and women civilians, in return for a ceasefire of a few days and Israel releasing Palestinian security prisoners.
Front page of the Irish Independent, the headline reads, tension boils over as Taoiseach are confronted by Israeli mayor. The story tells of Taoiseach Micheál Martin being confronted by an Israeli mayor over Ireland's stance on the war in a meeting during a visit to Israel.
The Examiner leads with war will radicalise more people. The paper reports Taoiseach Micheál Martin has warned the Israeli Foreign Minister that the bombardment of Gaza will radicalise a new generation.
Onto the tabloids, and the front page of the Star reads, prisoner attacked by jail officer. The report said that a prisoner is in a coma after allegedly being seriously assaulted by a prison officer as he was transported.
The Herald leads with hunt for raiders after €500,000 and guns stolen. It writes Gardaí are hunting brazen burglars after more than €500,000 in cash and a handgun were stolen during two separate raids in North Dublin in the space of just 6 days.
The front of the Daily Mail reads, Tubridy's new gig in the UK sparks fears for Irish jobs. The paper writes the media regulator has been called on to ensure that Ryan Tubridy's new radio gig in London does not lead to job losses at home, as the show will be syndicated to regional Irish stations.
The Mirror leads with Ryan's virgin rebirth. The story continues. Comeback king Ryan Tubridy is set for a massive pay cut despite landing a top job with a leading British radio station.
The Sun also leads with this story. Their headline reads, I'm moving to London. RTE is behind me now. They add that the Dubliner also confessed he hasn't watched Patrick Kilty host his old show yet because he's always out on Friday nights. OK, after the break, the legendary fantasy author, that is, Eoin Colfer. This time he's bringing the festive spirit with him. We'll see you in a few minutes. Back. With over 25 million copies sold, many would call Artemis Fowl the Irish equivalent to Harry Potter. Well, we say he's way better.
Way better. Now, joining us now is the author who made his name on Artemis Fowl to chat about his new book, Juniper's Christmas, Eoin Colfer. Thank you so much for joining us. A Christmas book, is that a first for you?
It is. It's like the author's equivalent of going to Vegas, you know. So I've had this idea for a long time, but I was a bit reluctant to do it. Well, what made me decide was I managed to weave kind of the homelessness issue into it.
OK.
So kids can... I've become, since I've gotten a little bit older, you may notice a few grey hairs, you may notice.
I thought it was platinum blonde.
Very nice. I'll take that. I've started to think about representation and how sometimes people who are homeless, people just think that you're a homeless person and that's all you are. Whereas they're real people with real personalities and real, hobbies. And the kids who are living in hotels around Ireland, they have their favourite soccer team, they have their favourite TV show, they have their favourite music, and that's not really thought about. Whereas in this book, I like to present homeless people as fully rounded individuals who just are going through a little bit of a hard time at the moment. So
okay, Juniper's Christmas. I like the idea. It's a scary idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's not Stephen King scary.
No.
I don't want to horrify anyone, but the idea that your mum would go missing at Christmas and it's up to you to find her, that is a scary idea. But she does recruit the best person for helping to find, which is Santa Claus.
Yeah. Now, Santa Claus is kind of trading under a different name.
Yeah,
he's incognito.
He stepped away. He stepped away from the sack, and he is. And it's also sad because his wife passed away, and he's grieving. And his wife used to work with the homeless people in this London park, so he decides, you know what, I'm fed up of selfish children not even opening their gifts. I'm going to do what my wife did, and I'm going to go to London. I'm going to help these people on the ground. And it takes an amazing young girl, Juniper, to kind of pull him back in, like just when he thought he was out. Yeah. She pulls him back in, gives him hope.
So there's a lot of, I suppose, darker themes than one would expect for a children's Christmas book as well, but themes that are very important to you.
Yeah, I think it's good to ground every story in the real world. So even though it's about Christmas, which sometimes can seem a little fantastical and magical, I want the kids read it to be able to identify with the world that they live in. And then once I have you in, then I can take you on a flight of fantasy. But initially, again, it's not Christopher Nolan dark, but it's just a little bit grounded in reality.
Yeah.
Well, you think of any of the movies that a child sit down to watch.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a darker. Yeah. There has to be an edge to it. There has to be the light and the shade.
But even the old Grimm's fairy tales, they were very dark. And kids are able for them. And actually, it's a good way for them to learn about life.
Yeah.
But this, it's dark, but it's also, I hope, really funny and really light and very magical.
Do you think we've gone a little bit too far, speaking of Grimm's fairy tales, and kind of rewriting these things, because they're changing all the stories to make it more whitewashed, really, so children can not be scared by it, but there's something fundamentally wrong with that.
I think so, because you're shielding them from a life that they're eventually going to have to face. So I think, I mean, the Roald Dahl stuff, for example, rewriting the old Roald Dahl books, I mean, I was very against that. I mean, the first thing I want to know, who's rewriting this and why are they rewriting it? And it's like someone making a personal choice and inflicting that on everyone's literature. So I don't know, I don't agree with that. I think if you don't want to read Roald Dahl, don't read Roald Dahl, but don't read a sanitized version of it.
Yeah.
The other thing with this book, and indeed there's another one that you have there which you're going to be signing copies of later today. Illustrations are just amazing.
Oh yeah, this is an amazing English Indian artist, Chaya Prabhat, and it just has that feel of modern London and the melting pot about it. All the cultures are represented in the artwork, which is amazing achievement, really. So that is, the cover itself is amazing, but also it's full of black and white illustrations. And my other book, of course, is with the genius that is P.J. Lynch, and he's very well able to do an amazing illustration himself.
Yeah,
so.
I'm looking at the other book as well, which is 3 Tasks for a Dragon. It's gorgeous, a lovely hard copy version of it here with me. And when I picked it up, I felt an overwhelming memory of my Christmases and my lovely godmother, Nell Shield, who unfortunately passed away recently. She used to give me a book, a hardcover book every Christmas, and I waited for it. One was Mother Goose, I remember, and it just brings back such amazing memories. But it reminds me of my primary school, and I think children love books. And I suppose going back to your primary school teaching days, you know what children want, really.
Well, that was one of the great gifts that teaching gave me, apart from the actual experience. But I began to get in on the wavelength of the kids and know not to talk down to them. Because as soon as you talk down to kids in a classroom, you've lost them and you may never get them back. So I basically write books for for adults with less life experience. That's how I would think of that. So, and the offshoot of that is anyone who's able to read my books can enjoy the books because they're written. They're assuming you're an intelligent human being and you will get everything. And that's another thing about sanitizing books for kids. They know it's sanitized. They know this is not real, and they're not interested. So these kids are all seeking out their old doll books, the real ones. They're not interested in the new version.
Life is dark and life can be painful and you can't shield them from everything.
Yeah, and they can identify with that. I mean, most people by the time they get to 15 have suffered some kind of loss in their life, whether it's a parent or a grandparent or a relative or a friend.
Or a family pet.
Or a family pet, and that can be just as devastating,
Yeah.
just as devastating for kids. So I don't think you should really... I mean, you don't want to be explicit about it at that age, but there's no sense in hiding it either.
Yeah. Like Artemis Fowl, fantastic. And it was just really unfortunate that COVID happened when it did. And we were looking forward to seeing the movie on the big screen. You turned just around the time that the pandemic was kicking off for the first time to write an adult novel.
Yeah.
That's been picked up and it's been turned into a series.
Yeah, I wrote another dragon book, but this time about quite a different dragon who likes drinking martinis and his favourite movie is Flashdance. And it's a very kind of straight... I think all the Game of Thrones fans bought it went, wait, this is not Game of Thrones dragon, it's very different. But yeah, Nick Cage is going to be the dragon. And Prime are developing it as a TV series now.
I know, that's absolutely... So I'm getting that sort of cast. I mean, my God.
Yeah, he's a great, great actor. And he can go places other actors can't go.
Yeah, high fire.
High fire, yeah.
So how many... Do you think this could have longevity? How many more are there coming? Or what way do you feel about this?
I don't know. I spend a lot of time, as Martin knows, because I've been here with every book... on series. So now I reckon I'm 58. I just want to do as many different things as I can while I can. So we'll see. I mean, if the TV show's a big hit, I might go back and do another one.
Oh, okay, hang on. Can I just firstly point out, 58 is not old. Okay? I'm a couple of years ahead of you.
Are you threatened?
Are you? Yeah. But
Nicolas Cage, though, I mean, if you have to write something and you want someone, Hollywood star, to be in with who has chops, I mean, he's not your just heartthrob who just looks good. He's got serious skill there.
He's a great actor. He's very unique, I think. So
and comes from great heritage as well, great film heritage.
Oh, yeah. The Coppola family.
The Coppola family, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
So it's, there's a bit of pedigree there, shall we say.
Yeah. Listen, I got a great pedigree in the Artemis Fowl movie. We got Colin Farrell in that. Yeah. So, I was very happy with that.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah. And another box tick was Iron Man.
Yeah, I'm a big Iron Man fan, so it was lovely to be able to do an Iron Man book. These things just pop up. You just don't know. I was talking about the gifts that I've been given. Teaching was one, but the gift Artemis Fowl has given me is that I get these phone calls.
Yeah.
Would you do this? Would you like to do that? And I'm working with 2 TV companies at the moment, doing some original shows. We don't know if they'll be made. I hope so, but it's been a great experience to do it.
Oh my God, that's it's a writer's dream just to be given opportunities like this.
I'm just delighted that you're stepping into the Christmas market, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you this time next year when the next Juniper adventure is happening.
When amazingly there's another crisis at Christmas.
Will there, won't there?
You never know. You never know.
And I have to say, this is a beautiful book as well. 3 tasks for a dragon.
And you're signing copies of that today.
I'll be in Hodges Figures today around 5 at PJ, and the Whale Theatre in Greystones on Sunday to launch this book, so it's the only event we're doing.
Okay.
Now,
great to see
thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks.
Now, you can pick up a copy of Eoin Colfer's new book, Juniper's Christmas, as soon as today from any good bookshop.
Lots more to come after the break. We'll see you in just a few minutes. Now, today marks World Prematurity Day, which aims to support families affected by premature births and empower them through professional and personal support.
Joining us to tell her story is Lynn Challoner, along with Dr. Siobhan Corcoran, consultant obstetrician and gynaecologist at the National Maternity Hospital. Good morning to both of you, and thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Lynn, I'll start with you, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us today, because I know this can be very painful to relive these memories, so thank you. So tell us your story and how you became to be involved with the National Maternity Hospital and their help?
Yeah, so myself and my husband were trying to get pregnant for a while, and we were struggling with infertility. And we were going through the motions of doctor's visits and medication and all that kind of stuff. And eventually at the end of 2020, we found out we were pregnant, and the pregnancy was going as normal. We had no issues. And I had my big anatomy scan, you know, the 20-week scan, which is always a big marker. And everything looked fine. And then a couple of days later, I wasn't feeling well. I went into the hospital, just into Holles Street, where I was a patient, as a precaution, just to get checked over. And when I went in, they found that, unfortunately, my cervix was opened, which isn't meant to happen until the end of the pregnancy, when the baby is ready to be born. And so it was, I was admitted immediately then. I was put on bed rest, and it was a wait and see what was going to happen. And unfortunately, 2 days after that, I went into labour, and my little boy Dominic was born sleeping.
Yeah.
And it was the worst couple of weeks of my life after that. And we met with Siobhan's team then a couple of months after we had Dominic, to talk about what happened, what they believed happened, and then what the plan would be going forward if and when I was to get pregnant again. And that gave us a lot of reassurance then, that we knew if hopefully we were to get pregnant again, that there would be some way I could carry a baby to term. So a couple of months later, we decided that IVF would be the option for us, because we had struggled with infertility before. And on our second go at IVF, we were lucky to find out that we were pregnant again, which was brilliant. But then obviously we were facing into this uncertainty in pregnancy again.
Okay, but bearing in mind what had happened to you in your pregnancy with Dominic, I would imagine you were incredibly nervous going into that pregnancy.
Absolutely, yeah. Just because you don't know if you're going to be bringing a baby home, really. Now, knowing that Siobhan's clinic was there and the team were there and I was going to be well looked after, and that the plan was to give me a cervical stitch at 14 weeks, which would help prevent what happened with Dominic happening with this pregnancy, and hopefully carry a baby to term. And that is exactly what happened. You know, I got the stitch at 14 weeks by Siobhan, and the rest of the pregnancy, while I had other complications, I ended up with kidney stones, totally other different story.
So kidney stones in labour, the two worst things to have, you poor thing.
But the stitch itself worked perfectly.
So simple.
Yeah.
And Siobhan, I can ask you about that, because it can be so daunting and so upsetting and trying when you're going for a pregnancy again after such a loss. But the plan, it's all about the plan.
It's all about the plan, and women really value that support. And I think in the preterm clinic, it's not just me. There's a big team of us there. There is bereavement support midwives for people like Lynn who've lost a baby. There is perinatal mental health support. We have a dedicated midwife, Larissa, who knows these women very intimately, meets with them every 2 weeks when they come to the clinic. And I think a lot of it, quite apart from the stitch and the medications and the treatments to reduce the risk of preterm birth, the support and the reassurance of seeing us very early in pregnancy, very frequently, and knowing that there is a team of people there to support you is very helpful for these women, because there's an element of PTSD after any preterm birth, but obviously particularly after bereavement. And so it's really important that it's a holistic package of care that you're giving to these women.
Okay, you talk about the 3 Ps.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So I think it's a nice mnemonic to remember what's important about preterm birth. And there's, I'm sure, plenty of women sitting at home today who will recognise actually that they are at risk of preterm birth. So the first P is prediction. Many years ago, we used to kind of think, well, some women just give birth early and we have very little agency over that and we'll just deal with it when it happens. But we know now actually that we can predict largely who is at risk of preterm birth.
At what point can you do that?
So even before you're pregnant, if you have a risk factor, say like a previous very preterm birth or a loss in the middle of pregnancy, there's about a 20 to 30% chance that you could have a recurrent preterm birth in a subsequent pregnancy. So these are an important group of women. They are high risk and they warrant detection and channeled into antenatal care. Another group of women who are important are those who've had multiple surgeries to their cervix, so that their cervix is shortened even before pregnancy. And they are a group of women who we will meet with preconceptually. So when they are planning a pregnancy, and we will assess them, assess their cervix, and talk to them about what their risk is and what can we do even before pregnancy sometimes to reduce that risk.
So is there something like for a mother like first time pregnancy?
Mm-hmm.
So can you make a prediction there?
So any woman who has a risk factor for preterm birth, they will be picked up.
But I'm not about to say somebody who has no idea whether they have a risk factor.
No, the majority of women, and it's important to say, like, we're not trying to scare women, the majority of women will go on to have a healthy pregnancy and a healthy term. There is a small group of women who maybe have had a previous preterm birth, who have a uterine anomaly or previous surgery on their cervix, who need to be picked up either before pregnancy or early in their pregnancy and channeled into this care so that we can offer them the next P, which is prevention. And we, again, now know that there are definitely methods of preterm birth prevention. So like putting a stitch in the cervix, like prescribing medications like progesterone at the right time to the right person, you can never eliminate the risk of preterm birth, but you can reduce it significantly.
Definitely help, because it's terrifying, the very thought of it, but there are things you can do to mitigate the risk in these things. Now, this is why World Prematurity Day is so important, to raise awareness. I mean, what would you say to anybody that's out there and maybe has experienced something like you have and they're afraid to kind of try to even get pregnant again?
I would say just be brave. There is help out there, and hopefully they be in touch either with Siobhan or a team like Siobhan to give that support to a future pregnancy and hopefully be able to have their baby at the end of it. And the support that Siobhan's team gave us, not just physically, not just by giving me the cervical stitch, but that emotional support, almost like holding your hand through the whole process. Dr. Siobhan and another doctor on our team, Dr. Gillian, we will forever be grateful to them because they helped us bring our little boy home.
Yeah, your little boy, who's gorgeous, he's out in the green room.
He's not in the mood for coming on the telly.
Oh, he's gorgeous. He was smiling.
But there he is.
He was smiling at me. I think I could have convinced him to make his TV debut. I was all excited about snuggling him here on the couch. He's absolutely gorgeous, healthy, beautiful boy. And the absolute head off you. Yeah, your little rainbow baby's absolutely gorgeous. So how's the sleep deprivation and all that sort of stuff been?
It's going okay. We're getting used to it. The first couple of weeks were very hard, as I think everyone says. But no, he's a joy. So
I'm so happy to have him. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. And of course, one of many, many women your clinic is helping.
Yeah, we look after about 180 women a year in the preterm clinic. So that is, a small fraction of the 7,000 women who deliver in Holles Street in the last year. But they're an important group of women and they need a lot of extra care and TLC. And it's a privilege to do it. Yeah.
Ben, I'm going sneaking out for a snuggle with the baby again. We've got to finish home as well. I'm very
last week, by the way, is preparation.
Yes, preparation. So if a baby is about to be born prematurely, then there are lots of things that obstetricians can do to improve the care of that baby, like give steroids, give magnesium sulfate, and make sure that our neonatal colleagues in the NICU are fully informed and ready to go.
They do some amazing work, they really do. Absolutely. Thank you both so much for coming on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now up next, a master class in picking your next winter coat, would you believe? See you after this short break. You're very welcome back to Ireland AM. The weather might be getting chilly, but at least it's a nice excuse to get a lovely new winter coat. Stylist Rebecca Rose Quigley joins us now with some great options. Good morning and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Elaine. How are you?
I love a nice winter coat because even if you want to feel dressed up for a day in town or whatever, throw it over whatever you've on and no one will know what's under it.
Absolutely.
Because I'm lazy that way.
It elevates any look and it's the first thing that we see, as you say, when somebody's out and about. So I've got 4 different options, all from Athlone Town Centre, which is the Midlands' largest shopping centre with huge retailers like Zara, H&M, TK Maxx. So I've got something for everyone here today.
So first of all, we've Mary Lee. And what are we looking
Mary Lee is looking absolutely fabulous in an all-black look. And you know what? Faux fur coats have been around for a long time. They're going going nowhere, and they really are one of those luxurious pieces to have.
Very glamorous.
Yes, we have a really, really glam look. And you know what? I think one of these is perfect to have in your wardrobe because I have one and I've pulled it out for years. They work with skirts, long skirts, midi skirts, short skirts, dresses. You pop it over your shoulders, you instantly look glam.
Yeah.
So this faux fur coat is from Quiz. It's absolutely beautiful. Really great value, great price point as well for anyone that kind of wants to try it out. Maybe this is the way to go with maybe your cheaper option. And Quiz has so many gorgeous glam pieces for your Christmas party nights and so on. Then moving down to the top, and this is a real showpiece top.
That
really
is
glam.
Gorgeous.
It's stunning.
Look like a present. It's
Doesn't
lovely.
she? And you know what? What I love about this top is you can wear it both ways. So you can wear it if you wanted the bows to the back or the bows to the front.
And
yes.
it sits
Yes,
just as well either way.
sits just as well.
Oh,
and it also
fantastic.
comes in a dress version as well, and it's just so, so pretty. And this is from H&M in Athlone Town Centre. And a great price point again. With H&M, you can find really good key pieces. Then moving down, we have the jeans, and these are your like wet look style, lovely stretch, them really high rise, super comfortable, and perfect for your party night out over Christmas, which we all are on the lookout for now. And again, these are another piece that have been around for the last few years, so they're a great piece to invest in.
And you can throw a knit over those as well if you want to dress it down. They're very
Absolutely,
versatile.
like a little cardi, a little, as you say, a little knit. There's so many different ways you can dress them, put them on with boots, and they're just a great piece to have in your wardrobe.
Bit of bling now with the bag.
A bit of bling. I'm going all out with the bows. I love a good bow, and bows are a huge trend for Christmas, so why not showcase it on the bag as well? And that's from Quiz. They have great accessories and great price point, and people do tend to forget about Quiz, so it's a great shop in Athlone Town Centre. And then finished off with these gorgeous heels, again with more bows, a little bit of sparkle. Why not?
Exactly. You do like a nice bow.
I
think
do.
That has firmly been established.
There we go. It's definitely, if you want to invest in a trend this season, go for something with a bow on it. And
There you go. Well, I will take your word for that now. And this look is very luxurious.
Very luxurious, and I love this. So this look is on Dervla is from River Island, and it's such a gorgeous coat. So this coat is beautifully tailored. It has the faux fur there, but is removable. So if you wanted to change it up, so this is your glam look, maybe for your Christmas party during the day, but you can take it off and maybe just wear a scarf then with it. So that's what I love about that. Then moving down, then we have the gorgeous little cardi. Look at the little bit of sparkle on that, and again faux fur.
This time we look at the fully lining in the coat as well. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. It's a great coat. And River Island do really good classic coats if you want to invest in a piece. And again, this cardi, love it. Love the little bit of sparkle teamed with the silk satin skirt. Another key trend for autumn winter as well.
I'm noticing more of a kind of a silver and crystal vibe to this season's Christmas kind of offerings as opposed to before. In previous years it would have been gold and rose gold. Now it's kind of going back
There's
to more
loads
traditional.
of the champagnes, different tones of metallic, which is lovely as well because they're quite warmer as well and easier to carry. And then the silk satin skirt, I love these because they can be dressed up and down. I have it here kind of dressed up, elevated with this kind of lovely bit of sparkle and so on, but these are gorgeous with sock boots as well. Little jumper tucked in, and you can wear them casually with a chunky boot or your samba trainers, your runners, so they're really good, and they're elasticated waist as well and super comfy. Then the bag, love a bit of faux fur, and this also has a long strap, again from River Island, bit of sparkle, gorgeous for your night out, for your Christmas party nights. And I think this bag, you know what, will take you,
That is very cute.
It is very, very cute. And then finished off with a nice little block heel, a little comfy shoe. These are also available in black and gold. Love little sling back, and I just think it brings the whole look together nicely.
It's
From
gorgeous.
River Island in Athlone Town Centre.
I am loving that bag though. I think that might be my favourite piece of that whole outfit. It's
Definitely,
just
and
so
you can wear it as crossbody as well if you wanted as well. Yeah, so it's a
centre
great
the whole
piece to
outfit
have.
with that.
Now we have Christina looking gorgeous. So I wanted to showcase a different style of faux fur coat, a little bit longer as well and a different colour, kind of like the colour that you were just talking about, that champagne tone, and quite neutral and will work with so many different colours through your wardrobe. So this coat is from Zara, a great price point as we know Zara do have, and retailing at $59.95, and I just love the black buttons so you can add in your black look, and again you can wear this dressed down as well with your chunky boots, biker boots, dressed up here like I have. Then moving on to the dress, I think it's just so cute. If you look really closely, as you can see, it's polka dot, but it has a beautiful like gold line going through that gold little kind of metallic look. And again, metallics are huge, as we were saying a few minutes ago, and I just love that. But this dress, again, the ruching on it, it's really glam, really easy to wear it with tights, dress it down. It's all about being able to re-wear your wardrobe, and that's what we want with a look. And then we have our accessories, again, the gorgeous gold bag and bracelet, also from Zara in Athlone Town Centre, and the gold just brings out the gold here that we have going through the dress.
And of course, finishing off with those lovely sock boots.
The sock boots.
So unusual.
Yeah, so unusual, and I love the fact that they have that gold detail on them. Everyone probably has the plain ones now, but this just has that little bit extra detail, just bringing the outfit nicely together. And they're from Shoelace in Athlone Town Centre, and a great price point as well.
Okay, thank you so much. That's a really pretty outfit. And do you know what? You could put a pair of opaques and a knee-high boots as well as that, and they'd be lovely.
Absolutely, completely, yes. So our last look here on Mary Leo wanted to go something a little more casual, but
this is lovely and
stunningly,
smart.
yeah, stunningly classic kind of, isn't it? So this look is from the Tommy Hilfiger store in Athlone Town Centre, and again, they have their pieces are just, you can rewash and you'll have them, you know what I mean? They wash so well. So first of all, the coat, I wanted to show a different style of coat, something with a bit of print in there, but I love those colours because it's really rich, isn't it? And then it has that like tailored look with the button detail as well, and the beautiful lapels going down the front. Then finished off with the gorgeous crisp white shirt and navy jumper. I just think this is a really classic look and will bring you absolutely anywhere. If you're going to your Christmas market, going shopping, anyone could wear this look. And you could then finish it off with your skinny jeans, also from Tommy Hilfiger, and I just love the bag and how it brings the whole look together.
Yeah, the colours in the bag are absolutely
Isn't it stunning?
Gorgeous,
and a lot of people are afraid to mix your prints, but I think this really works well. It's kind of more bold, it really stands out. And I finished the look off with the boots just to bring in that lovely kind of gorgeous burgundy colour, but equally you could go with navy depending on what you have in your wardrobe. And these boots are from River Island, and the gold detail just brings the whole look nicely together.
It does. It finishes off the outfit beautifully because it picks up the coat and the bag. Absolutely gorgeous.
So just 4 different types of coats that's going to get you through the Christmas season, and something really there for everyone, I hope.
Thank you so much, Rebecca Rose.
Thank you,
We'll see
Liam.
again shortly. Now it's over to Martin.
Oh, coming up on Ireland tomorrow, the stars of The Crown tell us what it's like playing literal, real-life royalty. Kerry GAA legend Aidan O'Mahony will be dropping by for a chat too.
And because our producers are sound, we're going to be playing with the top 10 toys for Christmas. See, I like toys. I can. If we're having toys, Christmas is fine. If they're giving us things to play with, I'm all about it.
Decorations, no.
Toys. Yeah.
She's a happy girl. Plus, we're cooking in the kitchen and walking in a winter wonderland in fashion. Anna is back from 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Lots of text that came into us as well. I like this one.
Helen says, what's wrong with a little gift of a token of love? Give a small Christmas stocking personalised with a scratch card or a lottery ticket.
OK, Lewis said I got all my Christmas shopping done the first day of September. And by the way, my tree's been up since last Sunday. Good man, Lewis.
Audrey wants to know, is Derek going for the shave when it comes to Movember? Who knows? We'll have to check.
We'll find out if you get an answer for you too.
See you tomorrow. Take care.
Enjoy your
Bye-bye.
Friday. Bye-bye.